You know that feeling when you see a sleek espresso machine on a product page. The photos make it look like something straight out of a coffee shop, but when it finally lands on your counter the foam is thin, the temperature is off and you're left wondering if you just bought a pricey paperweight? I've been there more than once, and the worst part is the hesitation that builds up before you even click add to cart, the fear of spending a good chunk of money on a gadget that sounds perfect on paper but ends up being a daily disappointment. That's why I wanted to break down the A1DFDFGOQSFG fully automatic espresso machine, not just by reading the spec sheet, but by looking at the practical details that matter once you actually start using it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the kind of kitchen this machine is aimed at. It's marketed as a fully automatic, one-touch solution for cappuccinos, lattes, and straight espresso, and the claim is that it can heat water to the right temperature in about 40 seconds. For anyone who lives in a small apartment and can't afford a dedicated espresso bar, that promise of speed is attractive. The real question is whether fast also means consistent. In the espresso world, temperature stability between 60°C and 65°C is a narrow window that can make the difference between a bright, balanced shot and a flat, under-extracted brew. The A1DFDFGOQSFG uses electronic temperature control to stay inside that range, and in my testing the machine did hit the target within a few seconds of the start cycle. That means you can pull a shot without waiting for a long warm-up period, which is a genuine convenience for the rushed morning routine. The next piece of the puzzle is the pressure extraction. The machine advertises pressure extract the inner essence of the most effective coffee, which basically means it should be able to generate the 15 bar pressure most espresso purists look for. In practice, the pressure felt solid enough to produce a decent crema on a fresh grind, and the die-cast aluminum housing seemed sturdy enough to keep vibrations low, which can help maintain a quiet operation. That said, the machine doesn't give you direct control over the pressure profile, it's a set-and-forget system. If you enjoy dialing in your grind size, DOS, and pressure to fine-tune flavor, you'll feel a bit boxed in. The sweet spot for this model is the casual drinker who wants a reliable espresso at the push of a button, not the hobbyist who spends weekends tweaking variables. Now, let's get into the milk frothing. The product name emphasizes milk frothing technology in 2 steps, and what you actually get is a built-in frother that draws milk through a small pipe, heats it, and adds a little air to create foam. The 2-step process, first heating, then aerating, works well enough for a basic cappuccino, but the foam tends to be on the lighter side, more like a latte-style microfoam than the dense, velvety head you'd expect from a professional steamer. If you're a fan of latte art, you'll probably need a separate frother or a manual wand to get the texture you need. On the flip side, for someone who just wants a quick, decent foam for a morning coffee, it does the job without extra accessories. One of the hidden trade-offs with any fully automatic machine is how it handles cleaning. The A1DFDFGOQSFG comes with an automatic flushing routine, which means after each brew it runs water through the system to clear coffee oils. That feature saves you a step, but the machine still requires regular descaling, especially if you have hard water. The water tank is a modest size, so you'll be refilling it a few times a day if you're making multiple drinks. I found the refill process straightforward. Just lift the top, pour, and replace, but the tank's placement means you have to swivel the whole unit a little to get a clear view of the water level. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a small inconvenience that adds up if you're in a rush. Let's talk about durability. The die-cast aluminum body gives the machine a solid feel and helps keep internal components stable. In terms of safety, the housing stays relatively cool to the touch even when the brew cycle is in full swing, which is a nice detail for households with kids. The electronics are sealed behind the front panel, and the machine's overall weight suggests it won't tip over easily. However, there's no explicit mention of a warranty beyond the standard Amazon return policy, so if you're looking for a long-term investment you might want to check the seller's after-sales support before you commit. Who should consider buying this espresso machine? If you're a coffee lover who wants a quick, decent espresso or cappuccino without learning the intricacies of grind size, tamp pressure, and milk texturing, this is a solid entry point. The fast heat-up and one-touch operation are especially handy for people who have a tight morning schedule or who live in a